Anyhow, moving on. I wanted to also mention that on our last podcast, we discussed the fact that Jeff had a
8-year-old turkey.
How old was it really?
It was. I bought it in mid 2020 as a little chick.
Okay.
So it'd be 2 years this summer. So it's a year and a half, not even.
Okay. A year and a half year old domestic turkey.
Correct.
Ryan had some experience with chickens in his past.
Yeah.
Where they were how old?
Not even a year.
Not even a year. But because they were domestic,
Terrible.
they were egg
Not even a year?
No.
they were egg layers, right? Or were they meat chickens?
I think one was a rooster. Not like your big red roosters. Just
Was
some
it
other
a
breed.
giant Herculean looking thing?
A big red rooster? No.
Okay, then it was not a meat chicken.
Yeah.
So it was probably just an egg laying chicken.
These are standard farm chickens. It was not.
It didn't look like something was wrong.
Yeah, well, no, meat chickens are
There you
wild.
No, it was
Yeah.
not a meat
Yeah,
chicken.
so it was like probably an ISO brown or
Is a meat chicken
buff.
like a Tyson chicken farm?
Yeah, just those white feathered
Oh.
fatties.
Yeah, if you look at a meat chicken, you're like, boy, you big. It ain't what you're thinking.
It's like domestic turkeys are now, where they're like, their breasts are so big it like drags on the ground. They can't get around, like they can't naturally.
I'm into it.
They can't naturally reproduce because they can't physically get it together.
I see.
Yeah, they'll have like broken legs and hips because they're so heavy.
Right on.
just heavy breasts, you know.
Anyways,
That's a shame.
these were standard chickens that you would
Regular
go to.
chicken.
It's a regular chicken.
So move on.
Egg laying chicken. It's worth because a meat chicken, it might be a different story to a degree. But this is an egg. These are egg layers. Probably ISO browns or buffs.
No, they weren't.
No,
Bantams.
For sure weren't.
bantams. Okay.
How old? Do we know
I'm
how old
sorry.
chickens were?
I'm sorry. It was 86 weeks.
It's like it's a baby.
I hate.
I
that.
hate
that.
it. 52 weeks. Okay,
Mhm.
that
mean
means
a
nothing
year?
to me.
Your kid's a year. Make him his own cake and let's get the show on the road.
It's already been born. Get over it.
um,
So- So you took care of business.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you do it?
come on.
Club?
No, you
Come
do it.
on.
The most humane way to kill any kind of backyard poultry is to hang it upside down.
Mm-hmm.
They tend, the blood rush into their head. They don't pass out, but they kind of like go in this like trance, so they get a little more calm. And then you rub right on their jugular, and then you keep rubbing so they get used to that feeling. And then you take a knife and they like, oh, a quick pain, but it's very quick. It's not something that's like, oh no, it continues to hurt, and then the blood's going out. So now their brain is immediately not getting blood anymore, and then it's maybe 4 or 5 seconds, and then at that point they're already doing the nerve thing
'Cause they're
that
gone.
you've witnessed when they're basically gone.
It's as quick as possible.
At that point, it's just a ball of electric impulses. It's no longer they're not conscious anymore, basically.
Yeah.
It's just nerves.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
nerves.
nerves. It's just nerves.
Did you take a video?
No, I did not take a video.
You're a dark little dude.
You're a dark soul.
Was it a lot of blood?
No,
What do you mean no?
it was a relatively small amount of blood.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna.
So no head chop method?
No head chop.
No,
knife.
they
You know,
fly
when you
away that
ch-
way.
Decapitation.
Oh no! You just, as long as you cut from one of the sides, they've got a thing going down. You cut in.
Did he run or not?
No, he
just
didn't.
kidding.
He didn't run. They're not quite like chickens. You cut in on one side, and you just real quick, sharp knife, as real, good force, and it goes all the way down to the bone. It cuts the windpipe, it cuts the vein, and then they just bleed out. Like I said, maybe 4 or 5 seconds tops.
I think we're holding on
And
this
then it's
subject
just
a little
nerves.
long. Anyways, Jeff had
So
a
how much blood?
He was insistent.
Okay, so
It was long.
so and then what was the next step?
Then from there, I brought it inside because crows were already circling.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was quick. I was like, I walked back in to start prepping stuff, and I open the door and I hear, "Ah." I'm like, wow, that was fast.
They might have been timing you out because you're so bald.
I was wearing a hat.
Like he could be on his way out, like when they saw you.
They smell
Like, that guy's half
There
dead.
would be blood, or
He doesn't even
a
have a hair on his
carcass.
head.
You're thinking of vultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So anyways, I prep the stuff. I come back out. They're already circling. So I run in. I run out, grab the bird, bring it inside. Quick Y incision. Open it up. Pull out the breasticis, and then from that cut, you can just open it up further. Break the hips open. Cut the meat around the hip bones. Pop those out. And that's it.
So you just treated it like now. Did you eat eggs?
Similar to how we do ducks.
Did you eat eggs out of this turkey?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I kept it, because it laid. They're like, oh, turkeys only lay like 20 some eggs a year or something like that. I'm like, I would probably say for the entirety of the time I had it, it probably, once it started laying eggs, probably laid at least one a week, if not more.
Oh wow.
And then on top of that, the chickens all saw it as like the main brooder. So I have boxes where they are supposed to lay eggs. It's like built so that they will do it there, but they would do it in the middle of the floor. The turkey would come lay its egg and then sit on all of them. So when I'd come collect eggs, there'd be one turkey in the middle of the coop. I would have to like
Nothing to see here.
pick her. I'd have to pick her up and move her, and then there'd be like 10, 12 eggs underneath her. It's like, what are you doing?
That's awesome.
It makes sense. She's the biggest, would be the warmest. you
Always,
know?
always tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would do that, and then
Mhm.
she kind of quit laying eggs, and then she ate so much and pooped so much and she didn't
Yeah,
bring any more
just-
value.
And you know, and at some point, again, like I always say, they're livestock. I'm not trying to they're not pets. I don't name them. You know, at some point I have some amount of, turnover where I get rid of the old ones to make room for the new ones. And in this case, the turkey was eating enough food and pooping enough poop for like probably 4, 5, 6 chickens. It's like, okay, that's enough.
And you're not laying eggs.
Thank you very much for your eggs.
It's time.
Rent's been past due for several weeks.
So the Ryan's take on this, because of his chicken experience, was that this turkey is going to taste awful.
Yeah.
Now, since then, we've taken kind of a over under. We don't really know how that works still, but we've taken some bets
To this day, still
on
not.
what we thought the situation would be.
I'd like to justify the way I ate these chickens. It was like full body, like you got it like almost like a rotisserie chicken, but not quite as well done, like well cooked.
So there were innards still, and it was gross.
Yeah, yeah,
We
we-
basically ate it raw. It was disgusting.
No,
pink
when I
in
say,
the middle.
when I say well cooked, I'm not
He's
well
always
cooked,
like-
well prepared.
He's
Yeah.
always liked his chicken medium rare.
Yeah, and pig too.
What, not well seasoned or not well?
Yeah, kind of. It was just relatively bland, but I don't even think that would have mattered if we had done it well. It was just very tough meat that you would have spent 2 months soaking it in something to really get it relaxed. It just was not good. It was bad.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare it?
Well, last week I said I was going to sous vide it,
Oh man.
and then once I started looking into getting all the stuff ready.
I couldn't get the bath
Number
water up
one-
to temperature.
Number one, it was 10 p.m. yesterday after we finished. After I made dinner for Valentine's Day, and then I, on top of that, had to make a soup for you schmucks. So I ended up just
what
doing
was
it.
that? What was that you just did?
What? Make soup for you schmucks?
Why are you doing that voice?
Have you ever seen Coming to America?
I've seen Jungle
Movie
to
with-
Jungle. That's similar,
Mini
right?
Sequel?
Yeah. Jungle to Jungle is one of my favorite movies as a kid.
It's a great movie.
And
Tim
he's,
Allen.
he's coming to America.
I don't know what it is.
National Treasure.
Yeah.
Unless something happened to him in the news recently, in which case he'd be a joke.
Matika.
He's just got a little powder on his
Yeah.
nose, but he's cleaned that up.
No, Coming to America
This is
with
college
Eddie
years.
Murphy. He's a guy. He lives in was it like Zimbabwe or
I'd never seen it.
something.
You've never seen Coming to
Really?
America? I've seen that.
Wow.
We've
That's
seen
great.
I'm very surprised he's
I am
seen it,
very
but you haven't. It
surprised,
came
too.
out after, way before he was
hate
born.
Is there a
83.
rule on not
Yeah.
watching movies before you were born?
We've seen
Know your generation.
we've seen
So
Jungle to
anyways.
Jungle.
So Eddie Murphy, similar to like Nutty Professor, he plays like
A bunch
4
of
or
characters.
5 different characters, and they're all sitting in a barber shop. And I don't remember exactly the lead-in, but he also plays an old guy, and he's sitting there, and he's got a little mustache, whatever, and it doesn't look anything like Eddie Murphy. And he's like, "Hey, I got a joke for you." He goes, "A guy walks into a restaurant. He walks into a restaurant. He sits down. He orders the soup. Waiter brings out the soup. And the guy goes, "Hey, what's wrong with this soup?" He goes, What's wrong with the soup? Is the soup too hot?" He goes, "I don't know. Just taste the soup." Waiter goes, "But is the soup too cold?" He goes, "I don't know. Just taste the soup." He goes, "Fine, I'll taste the soup. Where's the spoon?" He goes, "Aha!" He didn't have a spoon, and that was him telling the waiter to get him a spoon.
Oh my god.
That whole elaborate thing, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, so I made soap for you schmucks.
Jungle the Jungle.
Do we have spoons?
Good.
On the
That's what we
Tim
saw.
Allen didn't feel the need to play 5 characters. He's good enough being himself.
Ryan, when we were a kid, it was like a big deal. I remember Aunt Niecy would take me to Blockbuster, and we would rent movies, and that was like a big thing to do for the weekend. And you'd get
I remember that.
so Ryan, listen.
So
So
before you were born,
I remember one weekend, I was like, Laurel, you can have the other 2, because normally we'd argue. You get 3 for some value.
Mm-hmm.
So we get
3 for $5.
Not that Aunt Niecy would ever tell us no, but I was like, Laurel, you can have the other 2. I watched Jungle the Jungle 4 times. And it's how I learned to fish like that, where he grabs the fish.
I have no idea what that
Came out
is.
in '97.
Jungle the Jungle is a good movie.
It is awesome.
Is it like Zoom?
No, way better.
Also Tim Allen?
It is.
That
Tim
was
Allen.
Zoom.
It's Tim
Hey,
Allen superhero
know your
movie.
generation.
no, Zoom wasn't very good.
It was a good kid movie.
You know, it was a thing though. Is you're describing that it was like Back to the Future, where Shaky, what's his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox. That is, I meant that in the nicest way. I really like Michael J. Fox, but it might Michael J. Fox. He played like 10 characters in that movie. He's a great
and
actor.
The second one.
Yeah, like and I earlier I was coming down the stairs and I got AJ. I go, Mom, is that you? And I did like that thing, and he nailed it. He knew exactly what I was doing.
Where he played his own daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. God, that's hot.
My favorite was when he played his own great whatever grandfather, and he was an Irish farmer.
Oh, that's right. In the,
I like
in the
that.
third one.
Seamus?
Maggie, fetch some water for the. It's pretty good.
I feel like I known him my whole life. dude.
God, you don't have a good hat. I like how he goes into town though, and he's like the schmuck of the town though for wearing those stupid hats.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. Anyhow, so Jeff brought the turkey, killed it for us, and then made soup because we all thought it was gonna suck. So let's try the soup.
Here it is. Show.
We gone?
Noodles are a little overdone. Did it in a crock pot. What do
Well-
you expect?
This is a rather large piece of turkey, so
Yeah, I left the meat bigger so we could, get a good judge of the meat. Well, if it was bad, he would have spit it out, so that's already something.
and he spit.
No? Not a fan?
Keep
Was
it.
it the lemon?
How much lemon did you put in?
What is this? Spit soup?
Half of one lemon into a 6-quart thing of soup?
Does it taste extra way tangy?
I haven't tried it.
I don't know. No one's tried.
I'm trying. I'm trying to show everyone the giant hunk of turkey. Will it be tough?
Flavor is good. All right. What? Did you have it?
And I
Turkey
think,
is a little tough.
is it? You think so?
I think it's my. Keep in mind though, has anyone noticed that this recipe tastes like everything else he cooks?
My cut wasn't.
He makes squirrel and it'll taste just like this.
I like the seasonings I like.
That's all he
What?
does.
He's like, oh, I thought we were trying squirrel.
This is squirrel.
I would say this. I've had worse turkey.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've had worse turkey.
What are we eating exactly? What
lemony.
cut? Just breast?
Breast. Yeah.
That's it.
My sister is like the greatest Thanksgiving chef ever. Makes everything by scratch.
All right.
Everything she made this year was phenomenal. And I didn't tell her until right now because she's probably listening, but the turkey was not great. It
She's
wasn't.
got to sous vide it.
Everything else was amazing. The turkey, not so much.
She got
I got one
to
of
put it
those.
in her bathtub.
I got one of those big syringes, and you fill it with garlic butter, and then you stab and
I
poke.
don't suppose you did that for this.
You make a little pocket. No, because I didn't want to make it like over the top great. I wanted to make it so that you taste the meat.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's a lot of lemon, but
Yeah, the lemon was a little much, but
I don't mind the soup.
everyone was all about lemon and soup.
What's going on with the noodles?
Well, we took too long during the last segment, and they overcooked a little.
This
Now,
is-
now they're paste.
That's the noodles.
If we had the proper time or a stove in the office, or a stove in the office, I would have
Noodles
boiled
are
them
disgusting.
separate and then added. But I just said, did you not just hear us talking?
No,
about
I did, but
don't
I didn't
do
think
the
they were that
noodles?
bad. They're actually like
Yeah, they're overcooked.
it's like taking blank flavored toothpaste and squirting it in your mouth.
Which is funny because I checked just a little bit ago and they were like almost ready. I'm like, perfect. We'll do one more segment and we'll be great.
If you would have just let me talk about Jungle
Had
the
to talk
Jungle the
about
first time. That being said, yeah, year-and-a-half-year-old turkey. Cooked it in
I will
soup.
say it's good.
It's not
Perfectly
bad.
fine.
I thought it was
It's
going to be
not bad.
terrible.
The bets that we had going was bet number 1 was AJ, who said it would have no flavor.
He goes, no flavor, just like everything else he cooks.
He actually,
Give me this soup.
that is what he said. I mean, to a,
Sorry,
was
it's time to
that?
Take out
The
the garbage.
TARDIS.
Oh,
you have an alarm to, we'll talk about that later. What world do you live in that you need to know? Anyhow, AJ's bet was that it was going to have no flavor. My bet was that there was going to be too much pepper, like everything else you make. And Ryan's bet was it wouldn't be completely cooked and it would be a big deal when you got here. So Ryan wins.
No flavor. Too much of one flavor.
And he wouldn't have it all the way cooked.
I also said it would look like Auschwitz soup.
If I showed up with a fully prepared soup after
With
after
too much
not-
pepper.
after not being home for like 8 to 10 hours before I got here, what would you guys have expected? We don't have cooking here. Am I going to Traeger grill it? Or it's going to be cold? What?
Please, sir, can I have some more? On that note, the turkey wasn't half bad. So year-and-a-half-year-old turkey.
So if you want your own
slaughter it up.
bowl, go online and ask us, and we'll ship you one.
Nope.
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 We won't.
Yeah,
That was
we
my
will.
last turkey.
On that note, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 81 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. We hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out our TV show, The Greenway Outdoors. You can find it on our website, thegreenwayoutdoors.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.